a man of the people, and we are the people. And it's so important that we gather here at Harold's on the south side of Chicago. And if you live on the west side like I do, it's really important that we get the south and west side together to make sure Danny gets elected. The election is 2 weeks from tomorrow. You can vote early, and it's very, very important that we talk to everybody about our candidate, our congressman, America's congressman, Danny Kaye. Danny! I do want to recognize some folks who came by, and some had to leave a little early, but Camille Lilly is here, my state representative. Thank you, Camille. All right, Camille. Alderman David Moore is here from the south side. Kim Dubois-Clay, Representative Dubois-Clay, who has to go to Springfield tomorrow, she's here tonight. Alderman Lamont Robinson, thank you, Lamont, for your support. And we can't forget Alderman Gil Villegas, who had to leave a little bit early, but Gil Villegas is here. Yes, Alderman Will Hall, he came by. Thank you, Will, from the 6th Ward. And let's not forget Nicole Lee from the 11th. And we don't want to forget someone who is in an office that I once held, the Board of Property Tax Appeals, now called the Board of Review, a man who represents everyday people when they get injured and they need justice. We're talking about Larry Rogers. Larry! Now, it's important that we also recognize that there's a tough job in Cook County. You got to have an assessor who does it right, fairly, make sure everybody's treated in a fair way. Somebody who understands firsthand what fairness is all about, and that's our assessor, Fritz Kagi. Okay. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize someone from the 18th Ward, from the south side of Chicago, Alderman Derek Curtis. Derek! Right on. Don't forget, we got, sometimes it's important to always have justice, and we have justice here. Alderman, Judge Murray. Thank you, Judge. I do want to recognize also who came by and who's running and who's on the Supreme Court, who is a justice. We need her back there in Springfield doing justice, and that's Joy Cunningham. And don't forget the Water Reclamation District. That's a very important. Mark Twain once said, "Whiskey's for drinking, and water's worth fighting for." Anyhow, Precious is here. Precious Brady Davis. And we can't forget a very important community on the west side, in the west suburbs, Maywood. Mayor Yarborough, you're here, and we thank you for being here. And we don't want to forget anybody here. I hope, wait a minute, somebody who did come by earlier, who is the chairperson, the president of the Water Reclamation District, Carrie Steele. Yeah. Carrie Steele is a chemist. We need chemistry in that board, and she's back there. Well, I mentioned my representative, but I do want to do it twice. Twice for good luck, and that's my representative in Springfield, Camille Lilly. Yeah. And while he couldn't be here, but he has sent his daughter here, Representative LaShawn Ford from the west side. All right. Okay, Young from the 4th District. Thank you for being here, Young. And also Kurt Ortiz. Kurt Ortiz. All right. Thank you for coming. Okay. We don't want to miss anybody. Kurt Ortiz for 4th State Rep. Okay, for the 4th state rep. Okay, we got you.
All right.
We're almost there. Okay. Okay. Now, why are we here? We're here because we are blessed by a man who understands firsthand what it is to fight for everyday people. Now, today it's a nice warm day. We're very grateful for that day.
Right.
But I can remember some years ago, about 20 years ago or more, and it was super cold. It was 10 degrees below zero. 10 degrees below zero. There are people in our city getting shut off from their heat. Shut off. They didn't have any heat, and it was 10 degrees below zero. And I did a press conference, and there was one person there with me who was an elected official. And who was it? Danny Kaye. Shortest press conference that Danny and I ever did. And it got all the TV cameras, and then we spoke and left. And so tonight, the best meetings, the best gatherings are just like this, where we're together as a community, everybody in, nobody left out. That's what Danny did. And so without further ado, it's very important that we bring forward our candidate, our congressman. He's here today. He'll be here tomorrow. Danny Kaye Davis.
All right. All right. And all the people. Let me thank the only guy I know who walked across the state of Illinois.
He did.
He and a great Dr. Quinn Young walked the whole state, and that's Pat Quinn, and he became the governor of the state of Illinois. So I want to thank Pat, who has been one of the greatest organizers of people that I've ever come into contact with during all these years that we've been struggling to try and bring about change. Let me tell you, if you never had Harold's Chicken before, I never had Harold's Chicken with champagne. So I want to thank the owner of this restaurant, James, for being there. He is right there. For being one of the most creative businessmen
Yes, sir.
that I've ever met, and for having some of the tastiest chicken that you will ever see anywhere. But let me thank all of you for coming out this evening. There were a couple people who couldn't be here. A fellow named Brandon Johnson, who is the mayor of the city of Chicago. And of course, he endorsed our campaign today. And I want to say right on, Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
my neighbor and my friend.
Yes, sir.
Another gentleman who couldn't be here, they got action in Springfield, and that is the current governor of the greatest state in the country, Governor J.B. Pritzker, who also endorsed our campaign. And on yesterday,
Better listen.
the Speaker of the Illinois General Assembly,
Yes, sir.
Chris Welch,
Yes, sir.
endorsed our campaign. And the day before that, the president of the Illinois Senate,
Better listen.
Don Harmon, endorsed our campaign. And before that, Tony Preckwinkle,
Better listen.
the president of county government, and a half a dozen commissioners endorsed our campaign. And a couple of days, a week or so before that, about a half a dozen aldermen,
You better listen.
including Alderman Lee,
Yeah.
the first Asian American elected to the Chicago City Council from Chinatown. The greatest Chinatown representative in the United States of America. And you go on and on, David. It is so good. You know, David fought Goliath.
Yeah, he did.
And this David didn't fight Goliath, but he fought a lot of other adversities and prevailed and won. John, it's always good to see you. Fritz, it's always good to see you. Derek, it's a pleasure. All the way out there in the 18th Ward. Well, not a lot of my district is out there, but there are a lot of people out there who need the representation, not only from the 7th district. So I want to thank all of the elected officials. I think all together, they're about 35 or 40.
Yeah.
All of the mayors except a couple in the western suburbs, they all have breakfast on Saturday morning, and they're all endorsing or have already endorsed. And I know Karen Yarbrough couldn't be here because she's ill, but her husband,
Better listen.
the former mayor of Maywood, Illinois, endorsed
Yes, sir. Yes,
our
sir.
campaign. And I see Reverend Sanders and a whole bunch of more preachers who've endorsed our campaign. And so the momentum is increasing,
Yes, sir.
picking up, because people all over the United States of America are endorsing our campaign.
Better listen.
The Democratic leader in the House has endorsed our campaign.
Yep.
The Progressive Caucus has endorsed our campaign. And it wouldn't shock me if some folks that live in them special houses
You better listen.
don't endorse our campaign. And the reason is they know that there is trouble in our world.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
They know that our world, as well as our country, as well as our city and our county and our state, are facing serious problems.
Better listen.
And we don't need no amateurs.
Okay. Okay.
We don't need no amateurs. They're trying to represent us. As a matter of fact, I'm calling them the great pretenders. Pretending that they've done things that you can't find any record of them having done it. And so if it's not on the record, I'm not sure it's been done. And so there's no point in people wasting their time and their money trying to replace the number 24th most senior member of the United States House of Representatives.
Who you be?
Trying to replace
Who you be?
trying to replace the number 7th ranking Democrat
Better listen.
on the most powerful committee in the House of Representatives, that is the Ways and Means Committee. And no, we don't go empty-handed. and we don't come back empty-handed.
Right.
Sometimes I pinch myself realizing how much we have accomplished. You know, our city have a lot of individuals who run into trouble with the law.
You better listen.
And a lot of our boys and young men and young women have criminal records
But got a second chance.
and background.
Listen up.
What you don't know is more than 100 million people
You better listen.
in this country have criminal records.
Yeah.
That 1 out of every 3 adults that you run into
Better listen.
in this country is subject to have a record. That is a lot of people. And that's why we introduced and got passed the Second Chance Act
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that brought more than $1 billion, not millions,
$1
$1
billion.
billion for programs and activities, and grant money for the county sheriff, for the Illinois Department of Corrections, for the Safer Foundation, the North Lawndale Employment Network, for all kinds of people helping these individuals to come back. We were fortunate 2 years ago to reduce child poverty in the United States of America by 50%. 50% with the child tax credit. We brought to the state of Illinois $17 billion.
How much?
$17 billion
Come on, Derek.
off the infrastructure bill. And so we may not be Cadillac, but I can tell you we ain't no Volkswagen either. Yeah, we are productive. We created something called PBI. It stands for Predominantly Black Institutions.
Yeah.
And those institutions are able to get grant money just like the HBCU.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about it is we worked the agreement out over at Wishbone Restaurant
You better listen.
one Saturday afternoon with Wayne Watson, who used to be the president of Chicago State and the chancellor of the city colleges, and a guy named Buddy Blakely, who was Senator Kennedy's education guy.
Hold on.
We had lunch over there and worked it out. Malcolm X, Kennedy King, Olive Harvey, East West University, Robert Morris College when it existed, South Suburban College, all of those institutions have been able to get special money as a result.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I really didn't come down here to give a political speech.
Wow.
I came to eat some Harold's chicken.
Danny.
And so I think I've really said enough politics, because I don't want all the chicken to be gone before I get my share. But I want to thank all of you. We cannot afford to go back. We cannot afford to go backwards in our congressional district by letting any novices go to Washington to represent us, trying to tell us that if something is falling in your face and it might not be rain, but they believe that they can tell you that and you believe it. We can't allow to be tricked. We cannot allow to be fooled. We cannot allow ourselves to be taken advantage of. And so we have to send the best that we can get.
That's right.
And the best that we can get is somebody that's already there.
Danny Davis.
Just send them
Danny
back.
Davis.
Send them back.
Danny Davis.
And we gotta make sure
Danny.
that Donald Trump has no chance of becoming president of the United States. He may get some votes somewhere else, but let's not give him one vote out of Illinois. Let's not give him one vote in the 7th Congressional District because the people know what's best. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Mr. Governor, for Indiana. And thank you all. Right on, Gator Bradley. Thank you. And as Gator says, you better listen.